another beautiful day to talk about matter where they happen for inside Nigeria. And some people go talk say the level where Nigeria they go, it's either it's driving towards complete or total anarchy, or maybe it don't even reach level where it be say if not be revolution will no go fit, or maybe if this one party system work. And be saying a KBAC government will get according to waiting Abaribe talk. He say Tinubu government na KBAC government. So I mean we will begin to look at all these things and more where they happen for inside the country. My name is Precious in me. It always sit in my belly to bring on an update of things that they happen for Nigeria. Welcome to Updates with Precious. Make a quickly go bring on the hot matter we will get for grant today. Before I go straight, go bring in my guest this evening, because this evening he go I got auto like this evening. So make I just bring on the hot water, them as the hot. Tinubu runs KBAC government. Peter Obi will do better. Abaribe, now they talk this one. Yeah, KBAC government. Which one be that one? ADC accuses Supreme Court of enabling constitutional tyranny, or what you call tyranny, over state of emergency ruling. 5 million sweet tuition. Dangote releases details of allegations against NMDPRA CEO Farouk Ahmed. And it not end there because Dangote submits petition against his brother, Mr. Farouk Ahmed, the MD of NMDPRA, to ICPC. So you don't petition ICPC. And then petrol marketers begin implementing fuel price drop nationwide. That one saved. This one according to Ipman. Dangote Ahmed feud. Petron asks Tinubu NAS to intervene, condemns price manipulations. Well, this matter has to get to do with Dangote and the bus goes when release. How person go send 4 children to secondary school? $5 million. No, you don't want to calculate that in naira. That's about 7 billion naira. So you send to secondary school, oh, they never go. No, not be primary to secondary, just secondary school alone. They never go university. If nothing shock you, this will not shock you. I don't know what will shock you again. If this is true anyway. My father suspected his Aso Villa office was bugged. Buhari's daughter, now they talk this one. And then why Buhari refused to name successor, the DSS DG, Yusuf Bichi, now they talk this one. Nigerian government deliberately suffocating democracy. That is, Nigerian government, they choke democracy, they choke them for neck. Sotanko, now they talk this one. Beneku, 30 people, mostly soldiers, jailed because of the coup. 9 injured in Nasarawa as farmer, 9 injured in Nasarawa farmers headers clash. They call them farmers headers clash. But people say, farm, they move, but headers, they move. So how you go carry your head, come inside farmers' place and say na clash now and get. I be not be you look for trouble. I'm waiting people they talk for inside that report. But then let's move on to other issues. Over 2,500 killed, 29,554 displaced in Plateau in 6 months. This is according to Amnesty International report. Northern Reconciliation Group visits Khan, J9 in Kaduna to promote religious harmony. Yeah, good one. Terrorist strike again in Kwara as gunmen killed 2 residents in Ifelodun community. Kwara never rests since this matter started, like back to back. Suspected bandits attack Osun community, kidnap ex-customs officer, kill resident. You don't understand. Osun State here. That is, it's getting closer. Osun State here, by you heard right. Bandits attack Osun community, kidnap ex-customs officer, kill Osun State here. Well, that's it. Terrorists abduct 7 construction workers, including 2 ministry officials in Kwara State. And then naval officers brutalize Anglican priest, hit private parts with stick at Anambra checkpoint. Wow. Bandits kidnap 2 travelers on Egbe Road in Kogi, shoot another. Back to back, now so travelers they suffer for that Kogi Road. Nigerian police place commands on alerts as NLC nationwide protest starts Wednesday in Lagos and Abuja. So NLC said they start protest tomorrow nationwide. So police now don't say everybody on alert. I don't know whether we'll do alerts for waiting they happen with terrorists. Tinubu reverses controversial promotion of aide-de-camp to Brigadier General after public outcry. And then over 2,500 killed already said, according to Amnesty International reports. And Tinubu reverses. Okay, I think we dealt with this already. Yes. Okay. So moving on to other issues. Amnesty International details unlawful killings, right violations under late Buhari's administration as at the people they eulogize him, say, ah, Buhari too good. It's too good, it too do good. Now people say, I'm necessarily waiting, it's too good. I'm going to show you result of things and what you do. Now, joining us in the studio is Barrister Manke Tenan Adubari. Thank you so much for joining us. Adubabari. Thank you so much for joining us. We missed you, sir. Welcome.
Thank you so very kindly. Thank you.
Well done, sir. So, I mean, before we were just gisting briefly off camera, and I asked you that. So, you people finally allowed my Ibani brother to finally join APC, Abi. Even though we know that there was a body language over the field, but I finally let her make you join APC, Abi. And are they okay with them like that for River State?
Well, I think what has happened in River State, Fubara is just merely responding to what I may call an inevitable situation foisted on him by the combination of things that would have protected him but are now turning against him. You know, I took out time this week and I was listening to this case of Jeffrey Archer, that British politician and novelist.
Yes.
Who in I think 87 went against Daily Star, and he got a judgment of about £500,000 in his favor, you know, against it, you know, and then few years on, things turned around and the truth came out, and they realized that he lied under oath. In law, we call that perjury. Just perjury. That's how serious it is. And the court came after him. It doesn't matter. He served 4 years jail term. And then he was asked to pay back that £500,000 plus 1-point-something million awarded against him. So you see where a situation wherein the law is working. In fact, the height of it was the crushing of the Supreme Court. That the Supreme Court for over 6 months could not open its mouth. Come on, Nigeria is gone. Forget it. If the Supreme Court of all courts could be crushed by this moving train called APC, and it could do nothing until that constitutional fraud stroke atrocity in Rivers State took place and ran its full course, then forget about it. The system is gone. Now you recall that, like yes, like what happened in Rivers State. I blame it. Let me say it squarely from the beginning, and I don't give a damn to what anybody feels. The problem in Nigeria is caused by lawyers. Take it from me that I say so. The problem in Nigeria as it is today is caused by Nigerian lawyers.
Now, if you watch what was happening,
sorry, what? Okay, what did you say?
Supreme Court judges there, not be so. Not Supreme Court judgment.
No, get it. It's like talking about there is this class situation. Every judge is deemed a lawyer. You must be a lawyer before you migrate. Okay. So when you talk about lawyer, when I say lawyer, I am talking all inclusive. It captures everybody because predominantly you have the bar and the bench. Those who stay back, they belong to the bar. But when you talk about lawyers, everybody, whether you are the Court of Appeal, you are of the Supreme Court, you are of the magistracy, all of them are lawyers. So that is the angle from which I'm looking at the thing. Are we there?
Yes, very well. I can see you, but you're frozen.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So that is where we are. If you check what happened in Rivers State, the protagonist of the crisis that happened in Rivers State is a lawyer. That is the person of Chief E.M. Wike. Then second in the rank is Akpabio, the Senate President, that constitutional violator who upturned the Constitution, raped it in broad daylight, turn what is constitutionally provided for, that two-third majority, that they should do it by voting. Everybody will mention the constituency it represents, and everything should be captured. They turn it to voice vote. And then the next person is the Attorney General of the Federation, who recommended to the president that he should declare state of emergency in Rivers State. If you look at, and the president, if you look at these 4 persons, 3 of them are lawyers. And these 3 persons are equipped positionally and otherwise. These are people that ought to have advised the president. But they, for their personal greedy agenda. In fact, the Attorney General was so careless to the point that he said that Fubara should thank God that he is saved by a whisker by the president. Because Wike came on air to say that his intention was that he should be removed. You know, when they did that first 8-point agenda, for me, I told Fubara that upon arrival, having arrived from Abuja, that he should denounce the 8-point agenda. If he made that mistake, Fubara would have been removed from office by the Supreme Court. It doesn't matter. Because if the Supreme Court can do what it did, Supreme Court suo motu, a matter that was not before it, Supreme Court went ahead to frustrate the entire system by declaring that there was no defection in Rivers State. Even when squarely the situation that was on the ground conforms with the case of Jeffrey Archer, because it was perjury, there is a kind of an evidence, an affidavit, wherein they declared is before court that they have defected from PDP to APC, and yet Supreme Court closed its eyes to it and say that there was no defection in Rivers State. Forget about this system. So Fubara, if you notice it, he has no protection from PDP. PDP could not do anything. So where is his hope? So if he wants to be in the office for whatever reason as the governor of Rivers State, there is no alternative, because I can tell you that the president can just wake up the following day and just declare that the governor of Rivers State have been removed from office. And it will be. That is how bad the situation is.
So,
I can tell you that. I'm speaking as a lawyer.
You did talk this one because of the judgment of yesterday, where people they talk, say the Supreme Court affirm or back the president's sacking of state of emergency for Rivers State, and also give them power to sack any official. But some people they talk, say the certified true copy of that judgment no states like that. That the court, the CTC, actually states that the only way we go fit use actually get normal vote counts for state of emergency now through normal counting of votes before the National Assembly. And by that judgment, it means say the National Assembly not follow the right procedure. And I think your colleague Inehibe Effiong had an interview earlier today with Channels Television. If you would oblige me, it's a bit long. I'd like to play it so that, because I think that his position on the judgment contradicts what the media has been propagating. So it ain't good make we get an understanding of waiting they happen for inside that judgment. But make I quickly go play and make you listen to waiting in talk. Now let's take a listen.
Well, but more importantly, we do say that the wheels of justice grind slowly. But this is coming a whopping 9 months after the declaration of a state of emergency. Can we say that justice in this case has been neutral, neutralized, or aborted?
Thank you. Let me just quickly say that I have read the summary of the judgment of the Supreme Court, which I have with me here, created and delivered by the Honorable Justice Mohammed Baba Idris. My impression of this judgment is that, one, the Supreme Court did not endorse the state of emergency in Rivers State. The Supreme Court did not say that the president acted in compliance with the Constitution. What the Supreme Court seems to have said, from what the printed summary that is available, is that the Constitution, Section 305, allows the president, in making a proclamation of a state of emergency, to take extraordinary measures to restore order and so on. And that the phrase extraordinary measures is not defined. But the court went further to say that even in doing so, the National Assembly has to pass a resolution supported by not less than 2/3 majority approving that state of emergency. And then they also stated the manner in which that vote to determine the 2/3 is to be done, is to be cast. And they concluded regarding the House of Reps, for example, that it has to be by a division. Members have to be counted by their constituencies and names. So on the basis of that alone, looking at what transpired in Rivers, one can safely conclude that the state of emergency in Rivers State was illegal and unconstitutional, having not been endorsed by the National Assembly in compliance with the process set by the Supreme Court. Now, there's an argument as to whether the Supreme Court envisaged the possibility of democratic structures being set aside temporarily, being suspended. There is an aspect of the judgment where the Supreme Court cited the Constitution of Pakistan and India to say that in those countries, the Constitution allows, during emergency, proclamation for institutions at the subnational level of government or the parts of the country affected to be taken over by the federal government. But the court went further to say that in Nigeria, there is no such power given to the president. So the way I see this is because having declined jurisdiction, having held that the states, the 11 states, Adamawa and others that brought this suit did not have reasonable cause of action, the state of emergencies was not declared in any of those states, they did not show that they had the authority to represent Rivers State. The Supreme Court did not want to go into the merit of the matter. They only commented briefly, they only gave a brief opinion on what the Supreme Court has opined to be the constitutional framework regarding state of emergency. But nobody should go with the belief that on the basis of this judgment, the Supreme Court has now approved or has now given legal teeth of validity to what President Tinubu and the National Assembly did. Because even in the judgment itself, the Supreme Court affirmed that Nigeria is a federation, operating the federal system of government, and regulated by Section 4 to 7 of the Constitution, and that no arm or tier of government is superior to the other. And when you look at what the late Professor Ben Wabueze called doctrine of mutual non-interference, implied prohibition, or intergovernmental immunities, in his book Democracy in the Emergent States, you cannot have a situation in a federal system where the head of a subnational government can just be removed at will by the head of the national government. So I believe that we have to be very cautious in our assessment of the decision of the Supreme Court. As it is now, I believe there is need for a constitutional amendment to clearly set out the extent and the ramifications of the emergency powers of the president. Because if you, for example, if the position is that on the basis of extraordinary measures, the governor can be suspended temporarily, the House of Assembly can be suspended, how about the judiciary? For example, can we also say that in the case of a state of emergency in a state, the president can, for example, we have some states now, I can tell you, we have some states in the country that the judiciary is struggling to function because, for example, the governor has refused to allow the person that is supposed to be the chief judge to function. Can the president in that instance declare some sort of emergency and dissolve the judiciary, or now appoint unilaterally persons to be heads of the judicial arm of government? So there is need for a constitutional amendment to clearly delineate the constitutional ramifications of the emergency powers of the president.
Very valid points here. But ironically, the person you would have said would have had jurisdiction to take this case to court is now in the APC. In fact, 6 out of the 11 states that originally went to court or said they went to court are also in the APC.
Yes.
Right. So what exactly is at play here? Because for a lot of people, they've looked at the judiciary and they've always thought, there's more at play here, right? You expect that the judiciary is independent on paper, but when you read the judgments, you go through the proceedings, what looks like common sense now looks very complicated in court. But we must reference Justice Obade Ogbonia, who first said, well, I think that this case in part succeeds in that sense. And also, I said the president cannot use such powers that he has under the Section 305 to declare state of emergency to suspend elected state officials. So it looks like this is the bite, although it's a minority bite in the judgment. Well,
a minority judgment, quite regrettably, is not the decision of the court. The decision of the court is to be determined by the opinion of the majority of its members. This constitution is clear on that. On this matter of local standard, I think it's a bit tricky for me because looking at what the Supreme Court also said in the case of Plateau State of Nigeria and Attorney General of the Federation, there was no way Rivers State was going to bring this action because Fubara had been removed. No, Rivers State couldn't have brought this action. Fubara had been removed. And by what the Supreme Court said in the case of Plateau State of Nigeria and AG Federation, there was no way the sole administrator was going to authorize that action because you needed his authorization. He was, in some sense, the de facto head of the government of Rivers State. There was no attorney general who could have brought this action. So I believe that one way or the other, this matter will still go to the Supreme Court later in the future. I do not think that this is the end of the matter because don't forget, based on, as I said, based on the summary that we have seen that has been released, printed and released, there is nowhere explicitly in the 14 page that I have here where the Honorable Justice Idris, who read the summary, said that the state of emergency in Rivers State is constitutional. Nowhere. All that my lord said was that the extraordinary measure is not defined, and in some sense, my lord cited the case of under the former President Obasanjo in Plateau State and Ekiti, where democratic structures were removed. The case of Jonathan, I think in 2013, in Adamawa, I think one other state, where it was not removed, and said that look, there seems to be some latitude, depending on the peculiarities, but nowhere was this specific state of emergency, from what we have already, affirmed to be lawful and constitutional.
It's important we brought that clarity. Right. Almost, thank you. We wish we had more time. So,
and you know, the reason I stay here for the purpose of clarity and educating Nigerians. So I don't know whether you don't see the CTC of this particular judgment and waiting you get to talk in terms of reaction. You know, say first of all, the court throw away the case. Say the people will bring and come. Say come, state of emergency no day on a case. Why you not come bring case come before us? And I not get problem with federal government. So the Attorney General of the Federation not get problem with it. When I not get any grants to bring case come out the month, we can throw away that case go for corner. But according to Nehibefio, the court only slightly mentioned or just dealt on the case. And but because the court already threw away the case, say they no go fit term that as an interpretation of the core of the matter. But I don't know. Let me take a reaction, sir.
Yeah, you see, I'm very sorry that this is where we find ourselves. I'm sincerely very sorry. And let me say to the justices of the Supreme Court, their day of judgment is rapidly coming. Yeah. It was Professor David Hood who said, and I always like to quote him, he said, every lawyer of experience knows that in any case or in any dispute, there is the plaintiff's truth, there is the defendant's truth, there is the witness's truth, there is the judge's truth, and there is another truth which is only known to God.
Ew.
I call that one the fifth truth or the ultimate truth. That's how I call it. You see, this ultimate truth that Nigerians are dodging away from. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, this is just what the Supreme Court did yesterday is just fanciful and cosmetic. And they are joking. Yes.
So you feel they just use tyrup powder on top of the judgment.
They are just
Make it not be like say they condemn Tinubu. Make it not be like say they support them. They just want day for the middle.
Let me ask a simple question. You are coming to give judgment yesterday. What happened for the past 6 months when that fraud, that symbol of fraud called Ibas, looted Rivers State Treasury to stupor? 30 billion naira for gunboat, 24 billion naira for CCTV in government house, 23 billion naira for contingency fund. Where? And nobody could raise a question, nobody could raise a finger. And to reward that criminality, this man has been given ambassadorial position. Are we joking here? What was Supreme Court doing for the past 6 months? That's the first question they should. If they cannot answer that question, then they allow that constitutional fraud and atrocity in Rivers State. Simplicity. That is the final position. For Supreme Court, if he went on holidays and allow what happened in Rivers State to happen, and to allow Wike to get away with what he wanted, What do you think? What do you think the ultimate result of all that happened in Rivers State was to force Tinubu, is to force the governor of Rivers State to move to APC, and they have achieved that. So what are you talking about? So every argument they are putting up here is just academic. If you listen to the justice of the Supreme Court, I will tell you that is what they wrote for them to read. Okay.
Sorry, sir. Are you saying that what your Lord Justice read in that judgment, that your Lord Justice read what was written to him?
I will say that. That's my own opinion. In fact, this similar thing happened in that very judgment that brought in Tinubu. The same thing happened. And those who have discerning mind can see through. You know, there are parents that are gifted with strategic thinking. All they need to do is to watch their children, either a son or a daughter. They have known you. They have mastered you. It's body language. The gift of strategic thinking is very rare. A lot of people don't have it. Most people, you don't need to tell them anything. They just watch at you, watch at your body language, and they know your position. Clear. You can't beat them on it. It's just like your children who have known you. They have mastered you through body language. And then you are trying to play a trick on them or pull a trick on them. They'll just look at you and laugh and say, daddy, daddy. Once you hear daddy, daddy, you know that.
You said go weak.
They know. They know where you are going. Once you hear daddy, daddy, you should use your brain and know that the children. I told you last time about a family that the husband and wife wanted to leave the house. So they've already put their pair of shoes behind the door. So they only woke up when their son went to the wardrobe, picked his own pair of shoes, and then added to the 2 pairs that are hanging behind the door. That was when the parent woke up and said, no, the game is over. He has known that we want to move. They now change the story. And we're not trying to talk to the son that, okay, we want to go, I will consider you in our movement, we'll buy you something. But at that point, they knew that their son had already caught them. Because he has watched them, and he has mastered them, and he has watched their move. It's just like one of the things you were talking about here, okay? When you were talking about, you mentioned something that struck my mind. When you talk about farmer headers crash, you know, that is a psychological warfare that this present terrorist supporting government has forced through the throat of Nigerians. And a lot of Nigerians ignorantly are buying into it. Most Nigerians do not know that there is an extant unappealed judgment against open grazing in Nigeria. I took up the former Attorney General under Buhari. Yes, I took up Malami on that matter. All right? And I told him that if this case was in favor of the Fulanese, they would have magnified it and imposed on the entire communities in Nigeria. But because it's you saw the case of Jackson, yes. Sunday Jackson.
The US still hold them for throat. The US say they must release them.
Oh, sure. The only grace that Nigerians are going to have is the US. If not, of course, I said long ago that Nigeria is already an Islamic state. They are just waiting for the day they will pronounce. And they would have used somebody like Akpabio to use boys' votes to declare Nigeria an Islamic republic. And look, I have a gift of strategic thinking. You see, God, if somebody, you notice that there was a time that Tinubu said that he doesn't pay attention to the social media. Why did he pay attention to mere tweet from Trump? You know Trump did not write a letter. You know he did not send any ambassador.
Yes.
You know he did never send any invoice. Just tweet. That is the power of the social media.
Not even for Twitter, not for in truth social, in personal social media. Not for truth social. Other platforms.
And Nigeria is panicking. Just mere tweet. Just mere tweet. And Nigeria is panicking. And somebody will tell you that don't mind those 4% tweeting in the room. social media has no power here.
We'll still come back to this farmer headers issue because there's a lot to have to say about it, because the president don't give some order about grazing reserves and all that we'll go talk about. And I'm glad that you're here so we can talk about it. But going back to the Supreme Court judgment, first of all, somebody did ask a very valid question here. Why it always difficult, or why we always get varying interpretations of a judgment from our courts for Nigeria? Why they like that? Why our judgment they no fit just day one so clear, crystal that anybody will understand one thing? Why must we have different interpretations? Not be Bible. We'll not go fit just get one clear-cut decision where everybody go, where they understandable to everyone, irrespective of your educational qualification or your level of comprehension. Why IBC would always get judgments when they do like this? So somebody will say, oh, no, my people. Because right now, people who are in support of the government, they happy say, oh, the Constitution back President Tinubu decision to declare state of emergency for Rivers State and also to sack a sitting governor. The question now is, if the Constitution empowers the president to sack a sitting governor, suspend a sitting governor, as it were, who suspends him if something is going wrong in Nigeria? That kind of question we're going to ask.
Let me say something to you. Apart from being a lawyer, right? I am also an artist. I'm a consultant calligrapher.
Yes, she said so.
Now, the main distinction between law and art is what we call the principle of stare decisis. And that is flowing from order, the order in the society. That is what distinguishes law.
Oh dear, I think your network. Sugar, I think the network is hanging. We will try to see what I will feel reconnected, because I mean it's very, very important to make we get these things clear about it. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yes, go ahead, sir. Well, your network, they do somehow. All right, go ahead, sir.
Well, it's conforming with the realities on the ground in Nigeria. So you don't believe the network. It's just conforming. It's not the network is just conforming. Do you know that the network operators are on the kind of free-to-air charges? Check when you load, how long it stays. Nobody will tell you that they have.
So they charge as they like.
They charge as they like. Because there's no control now. See, but when there is a kind of situation that you have in Nigeria, people do anyhow. And those who are into peace, they exploit the people. Now, the mind of the government is that if they increase tariff, that it will kind of minimize Nigerians being in touch with each other and pursuing certain causes through the social media. So they will permit it somehow. And on the other hand, the people are kind of, when they realize that there is no alternative, whether you put the price through the roof, they will still continue. So going back to the issue, if you check what is going on, what is happening in Nigeria, what has happened in this case, this thing I'm trying to explain to you. Like this evening, I was doing Merry Christmas. It's a new work I was working on. I can come to this office tomorrow and add another thing to it. I'm already putting that one. I'm taking it to my drawing board and I'm going to work on it. I can do another work entirely from that piece tomorrow morning. You will look at it, may look similar, but you know that this is a distinct work from this very one. Law is distinct from art. The reason is based, like I mentioned to you, the principle of stare decisis, which is order. That is to say that if there's a way my body is doing me, this is the way I'm going to explain it. And I'm not comfortable. And I come to your hospital, and the first thing you will do as a professional is to refer me to the to run a test. When I run a test, I am told that I have a malaria. And I move and go to another medical center. They say I should conduct a test. And I'm told that I have malaria. I move to a public health hospital. And I told them there's a way I'm feeding. They said they should conduct a test. And they confirmed that I have malaria. You see, these three information have a way to psychologically put me in a stable position and to concentrate and know that the problem I'm having is malaria. If I don't use to sleep under net, I may think of a way of trying to save myself from this crisis. But I can tell you, on the other hand, if in your hospital you told me I have malaria, then I go to another health facility, I'm told that I have typhoid, and I go to another one and they told me I have cancer, I may not go to the fourth one when I will pack up psychologically.
Because
that is when
I said the more
the
they
law
go,
is
the
not,
more the thing increase.
That's it. You don't know what happens tomorrow. That is not law. Now, I use the case of Jeffrey Archer to explain to you the foundation of any constitutional democracy. And this is one thing so many people don't understand. Let me digress a bit. I want people to understand what is happening in Nigeria. What is happening in Nigeria, you cannot divorce it from what is happening in other parts of the world. The core foundation of democracy is rule of law. The key principle of rule of law is that nobody is above the law, no matter who you are. The institution of the law or the instrument of the law is greater than you, and everybody is subservient. And the reason why we are subjecting ourselves to the rule of law is for order to be in the society. Do you understand it? That is why people like Jeffrey Archer could be jailed, even if he's a British politician, even if he is a novelist. He has to write his novel from the prison to send a message. I'll give you another classical example. Do you know why Ekweremadu was jailed? Are you aware that the Nigerian government sent a delegation to UK to plead that they should allow Ekweremadu to be released, to come to Nigeria to continue the service of his jail term? Are you aware of that?
And the UK, we hear
the UK,
they say they know they shall complete in time if he come Nigeria.
That's it. Do you know that Ekweremadu is the first person to be convicted under the Modern Slavery Act in the United Kingdom?
Absolutely, now him be the first person.
I will tell you. I will go further to tell you that 51 allocutus were written on behalf of Ekweremadu. Obasanjo wrote one of them. Even the clergy, House of Representatives, Senate, name it, who is who in Nigeria, wrote allocutus. The judge said, I have read all the 51 allocutus on your behalf, but I will not allow you to go away with it. Because if I do,
if you tell us what allocutus means, so that they go understand.
Okay, allocutus. Okay, now for those of you who watch the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, when he has been convicted, you now go to sentencing. When somebody has been convicted, before you now go for sentencing, they will give you an opportunity. If there's anything you want to say to the court, this is where in some cases you will hear somebody telling you that I'm the only child of my parents.
Okay.
My parents are
the Council Rep member, I think, Obi, had to speak at that time.
That's it. It's a plea. It's a plea that in most cases mitigates. Try to appeal to the psychology of the court to look at the case from another angle that is tending towards showing mercy. That's purely the way I can explain it.
All right, then. So go ahead.
They wrote 51 on behalf of Ekweremadu. The judge said, if I allow you, I will be sending a wrong signal across board. He said, the health need of your daughter Sonia cannot be satisfied on the altar of the exploitation of the poor. The law, those who made the law realize that those who are well-to-do or privileged individuals have the tendency of taking undue advantage of the weak in the society. You see the United Kingdom. contrary to what happened in Nigeria, there is a constitutional set budget for the defense of the poor in United Kingdom. The QC, which is equivalent to senior advocate in Nigeria, these are the people that defend the poor in the United Kingdom.
For Nigeria now, who get money and they defend now?
Yes, it's a reverse of the case. It was because it was when the Justice Secretary, I've forgotten that his name, I think 2014 or so, wanted to tamper with that constitutional provision, that amount that is set, I've forgotten the thousands of pounds, that for the first time in the history of English lawyers in England and Wales, in their wig and gown, went on demonstration. In the history, it was historic demonstration for the first time in the history of English law. Just because of that. And the purpose of demonstration is to draw the attention of the public to something that is going wrong, for the society to bring pressure on the system. For the first time, it happened in the United Kingdom. And they said you cannot tamper with that, because if you tamper with that provision, which will reduce the money for the defense of the poor, it means that justice is going to be denied the poor. So don't do it. So the judge told Ekweremadu. In fact, they went to the extent of mentioning how many £1,000 that comes into the account of Ekweremadu monthly from his properties that are littered around the world. And they told him that you are in a position.
In that case, so they mentioned the properties in for Dubai, for Abuja,
yes,
for Enugu, for different places, including
all right.
UK there.
These are places where the law works. They will get everything about you. It was in that case that the fraud that he committed became exposed too, because that guy they got from a work site in Lagos, and he lied that the young man is a cousin to the daughter, wherein there is no such relationship whatsoever, howsoever. You see how God works. God blended Ekweremadu, that they have to move the young man to United Kingdom before they carried out compatibility tests.
Because
so
when we hurry.
the team of doctors now said that before we will carry out the removal of the organ, that we have to do compatibility tests first. It's just like blood group. So when they carry out the compatibility test, they realize that there is no compatibility between Sonia and this young man. You know, in United Kingdom, you don't sell organ. Even those who have money will be buying organ of the poor. So there is a strict law, and that is the Modern Slavery Act. Because the issue of organ transplant or offer is on altruistic ground. You don't buy it. So he knows the position of the law and now claim that this young man is a cousin to the daughter. But God set up that booby trap, was waiting for him. As they got to London, when they realized that compatibility has failed, he now took steps by contacting Obinna Obeta, the doctor, to go and look for another person. And they now plan to deport this young man back to Nigeria. Immediately, the young man realized that this is what they are planning to do. He reported to the British police. And of course, there are nobody, you are not above the law. I told you the evil that Ekweremadu through Bill Gates did to Nigeria through the National Health Act, which is the law till now that I'm talking to you. If you walk into any health facility in Nigeria, Nigeria is the only country in the world that its National Health Act law violates Helsinki Declaration touching on consent. That is as I am. If I walk into any health facility, my organ can be harvested without my consent by the chief medical director. That is the position of the law. And it was under Ekweremadu.
In Nigeria.
It was on in Nigeria.
Now the reason why would they hear say some people go free just come carry normal sickness, come, they no go know.
Yes.
If they say they do normal
before
surgery,
they know, they will harvest their organ. Remove their organ.
But how can the
That
National
is the
Assembly
position.
implement that and knowing that kind of thing? What's in our National Assembly they do?
Let me tell you, listen to me. The case we are just considering now, if it doesn't matter to you, you should know that we're in a grave danger. Is what was the gain of National Assembly violating constitutional clear provision that says two-thirds majority, and they turn it to voice vote? Are you not afraid? Are you not afraid?
But that judgment, according to waiting in Ehibe FM talk, the judgment touch on them. The judgment talk am again, talk say the only way to determine this kind of case now through a 2/3 majority. But
now let me tell you,
the judgment no states now say, however, in this particular case, the National Assembly did not use a 2/3 majority. The court, the judgment mentioned say it come up, but he not talk that side. But he only mentioned again, he reaffirmed that it's through a 2/3 majority that you can ascertain or get through a number for state of emergency.
You see that thing that the Supreme Court justices are trying to run away from, we certainly caught up with them. Mark it somewhere.
Yeah. So you feel like
it will certainly caught up with them. Mark my word. It will see, let me tell you. Outside constitutional amendment, the quickest way to amend the constitution is through legal interpretation, which comes through the court. You know the House of Law in the United Kingdom. The House of Law in the United Kingdom can strike down the law, advance the course of justice through its pronouncement when Parliament cannot sit and debate issues. Through pronouncement of court. That's how powerful the court is. Unfortunately, what we have in Nigeria now, the institution of the judiciary has been captured and is now being used to enforce Islamic jurisprudence. That's why you hear of that Sunday Jackson case. Supreme Court can pronounce that somebody came to the farm of Jackson to graze on his farm, and in self-defense, he killed the person, and the Supreme Court of Nigeria and no other said that Sunday Jackson ought to have run away from these terrorists. That is pure Sharia.
Yeah.
People are joking. People don't know what is coming for us. People don't know what is coming for us. They are captured the judiciary and they are using the judiciary. I'll give you another practical example. You know, somebody can build, that was what Wike was doing in Rivers State here. I warn people that they should not rejoice that Wike is building court. He is building this court and using the court to advance his criminal tendency. I'll give you a practical example. Do you know along the line, we came on air and challenged the entire politicians in Rivers State, from councillors to members of the House Assembly to members of the National Assembly to the governor. He said if there is anybody who came out and bought phone, let him open his mouth and challenge him. There was one person called Farah Dagogo in Rivers State here.
I know Farah Dagogo very well.
Yes, who violated his evil intention by going to PDP secretariat and bought phone. The day he was coming for screening, coincidentally, that very day, I was leaving my office in the axis of Port Harcourt. I was going to the High Court complex. I have climbed the bridge by Kaduna, that Corpus Christi, that Catholic Church, yes. Kaduna Street. Yes. Yes, I was passing on top. As the vehicle, yes, as the vehicle was descending towards the PDP secretariat to enter on the main flyover, to enter Azikiwe Road, the next thing was gunshot in the premises. You know, I give it to Wike. Wike is a master strategist, but unfortunately in evil.
Hey.
I give it to him. He's a master strategist. Nobody can debate with me on that. But unfortunately, in evil. I'm very sorry to say that. And nobody can argue about that. So what Wike did, he set up his boys. When this young man, Farah Dagogo, was now coming to do screening in the party secretariat, he did not even want him to do the screening at all. So when they fired that shot at the secretariat, they now heard the young man and moved him straight from that premises to a security facility that he built close to his hypercity at Eastern Bypass. That police information there. They detained him there. The next day, they now move him to court with definite instruction to a magistrate. I'm going to explain something you may not be able to capture, but lawyers in practice will capture what I'm going to explain here. When you are brought to court on criminal allegation, the magistrate, first of all, will look at the matter and pigeonhole it. There's what we call simple offense, there's felony, there's capital offense, depending on categorization. There are simple offenses that when it comes, the magistrate, by training, will just fix it in the checkbox and grant you bail offhand. It can even grant you bail on self-recognition, depending on your personality.
Absolutely, like they did.
But there are
case.
Yes, but there are offenses that are so serious that they will require that you should be taken on. There are civil offenses that cannot be granted bail at that level. What now happened with that magistrate court? When the magistrate court refuses to grant bail and adjourn your matter for bail consideration, that's a window of injustice. They now ask him to adjourn the matter to when the election would have taken place. That means he will be in prison till then. They went to High Court. High Court said the position of the law is that you would have come to me when there is a pronouncement on one way or the other about his bail. That bail is adjourned for consideration. They went to Court of Appeal. Court of Appeal said we cannot interfere into the matter because the court has not declined jurisdiction. It's only adjourned for bail consideration. This was what Wike used. Yes, this is what
So
Wike
what
his offense is that he wanted to break the ingenuity of Wike plan, strategy, that he will be able to intimidate and challenge anybody who bought from to come out. He wanted to break that rank. So he saw him as a threat to his ingenuine evil plan. That's why he had to flag him down through the instrument of the law. Those who don't understand, we think that law is taking its course. No, law can be used as instrument of oppression, suppression, and repression. And that's exactly what these criminal minds are using the law to achieve for their own private purpose. That was exactly what happened in Rivers State. America do not understand. Now, let me say something to you. You see that Jackson case that the US is insisting that you must be released. It should not only be released, it should go to the extent that the law must be amended. Open grazing must be banned in Nigeria. There must be a legislation on it. Open grazing must be banned in Nigeria. In line with Justice Thompson's judgment in 1969 in Western Nigeria. It must. So that is what these people use the instrument of the law to do. Tomorrow, if anybody wants to defend himself on his farm throughout Nigeria, they will cite the case of Sunday Jackson and say you are supposed to run. This is how they use law. And they will tell you that based on the positivist school of jurisprudence, powered by Oliver Wendell Holmes, who says the prophecies of what the court will say, in fact, are nothing more pretentious are what I mean by the law. So they tell any judge, pronounce it. If you see what Omotosho was being used by Wike to do in Rivers State, I warn people.
The same justice who handled Nnamdi Kanu's case.
Yes. He is the master stroke that Wike was using to condition the governor. When he gave one particular judgment that the governor don't have any right to determine where the House of Assembly will sit, that Amewure have right to sit anywhere so long he has control of majority of the members of the House. Some strange pronouncement, all were power. That's why I call the judgment hypercity. That's what Wike was using the judiciary to do. So when people, when he went to Abuja, the first thing he did, he was building houses for them, for the judges. He was buying them. You don't have any business doing that. The judiciary is supposed to have their own budget. He did that in Rivers State here sufficiently. There was a particular one who was the chief judge here. He so cornered the woman, pigeonholed the woman to the point that if that woman has opened her mouth to say that there is no judicial independence in Rivers State, The woman, he bought a brand new 2020 what? That year model of a car and built a house for that woman. She would have forfeited all those things. So they use money. There are a lot of people in River State here that cannot open their mouth and say certain things because Wike has bought them over through money. So this is the kind of situation that you find yourself.
If they're asking you this one now to come and defend, I know this is social media. They may see this clip now.
What are you talking? These things, see, let me tell you. The issue of Wike, even the issue that he rigged election, is all over. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. Let me give you a practical case. Do you see what is happening in Abuja? This case of land grabbing. The only condition under which you can revoke a C of O is a case of overriding public interest. Let's say I'm on a particular portion of land and you are revoking the C of O. You want to build hospital there. You want to build prison there. It must be for the case of overriding public interest and no more. Anything outside that is fraud. And that is what he's doing. You can see a minister coming out to say that after my children are, you heard about the land handler. After my children are citizens of Nigeria. And it's just, and it's a live bencher. That is the most frightening aspect of it. Because for a person to be a bencher, you are supposed to be a person of the highest legal distinction. The highest legal distinction. I did an article sometime where I think I sent you that link. How did he become a live bencher? You know, now he's a doctor. The academic system has been captured. VCs are living in fear. If you don't give them this doctorate degree, they can remove you tomorrow from being VC. So when people are not secure, now what is happening is there's called this institutionalized poverty. If you don't conform, they can force you out. That is the kind of thing that is happening. So nobody is secure. So when your wife come upon you and tell you that, look, there's nowhere we'll run to, there's no food to eat if you lose this job. Who was the person that was working with the Ibas in River State? He's a professor of law. A professor of law. They even abused that professor of law to the extent they set up a committee in River State here. What's the name of the committee? Farmer Headers Crash in River State here. Under Ibas, some fundamentalists in Woji here shouted Allahu Akbar against an innocent market woman. And nothing happened till today, just like Deborah that they killed in the north. Do you know that professors of law, of Sharia orientation, threatening the Nigerian Bar Association that if they don't allow them to defend those boys who killed Deborah, that they are going to move away from MBA? We are joking in this country, my sister. There are things I don't want to go into. I'm telling you, we are joking in this country big time. That's why I have said, with the way things have gone in this country, look at the case of Mazin. Under what law was he convicted? Under what law? He asked the judge, under what law? Nigeria is a member of the international community. How can you violate international law by extraordinary renditioning Mazin from Kenya to Nigeria? Even Kenya court has made pronouncement. Court of Appeal has made pronouncement. You defy all that. It can only be Sharia and nothing more.
Hey.
we are in a mess.
Speaking about Sharia, your Lord Justice, the former CGN, Tanko, may God rest his soul, has just passed on. And I'm sure that that's a great loss to the judiciary. I just thought to mention
great loss in what sense? In what sense? In what sense? Do you know the incalculable harm that man? Do you know the incalculable harm? Do you know the incalculable harm that man did to the judiciary in Nigeria?
Sir, you know we don't speak ill of the dead. It's just like what the president, Buhari wrote. They wrote the biography of Buhari yesterday, and even the president Tinubu said he's a great statesman. That there's nobody that loves Nigeria like him. That Buhari loves Nigeria so much. You know, you don't speak ill of the dead in Nigeria, sir.
Let me tell you.
Okay, sir.
My late father told us when he was alive that the day he would die, we should only inform his relations. We should bury him that same day. Nobody should embalm him. Nobody should put him inside mortuary. That same day, we should bury him. It is when we buried him, he died on a Wednesday, we buried him on a Thursday. It is when we buried him that it dawned on me some of the reasons why he said so. That we should bury him. And yes, I can tell you that for free. You see, you say they don't speak ill of the evil. They don't speak evil of the dead.
Mm-hmm.
It's not in this era. It's not in this era we are in. This is Gen Z era. I am telling you, you and me, we are on the same template. When we said that it is mere tweet that is shaking Nigeria. Mere tweet, not conventional, this is not being armor. Mere tweets. That is the era that we are in. Do you know that in social media, a lot of people are having sleepless nights as to what the social media will publish about them the coming day, as per what they posted years back? For me, I don't have any problem. I'm not afraid of any post that I posted in the past, because that's the power of consistency. I'm consistent in what I'm doing. I'm doing what I'm doing based on conviction. So it is only a person that is lying that will think of how many persons he has lied to and how he wants to cover up. If you are consistent, there may be variation, but you see consistency. You know that the person is saying the same thing. It's as simple as that. So this is the mess that we are in. I am very, very happy that I'm a lawyer. So when they are playing their game, their Agaba dance, I can see through. In my place, they say that it is not everybody that the masquerade flogs. The masquerade can outrun his relations or those who are close to it and pursue enemies and flog them. So they know the game they are playing. Did you watch the drama during the screening of Tanko by Abaribe? That part of technicality that the man said, talk about aeroplane driver. My sister, leave this country. I call Nigeria a criminal theater of atrocities, extraordinary every day in action.
All right, sir. So whilst we wrap up with the Supreme Court's issue, so you did very certain, or your final position as say waiting the Supreme Court do now to set a trap we go fit enter them later in future. Say waiting them do no good. As a no spell clearly waiting the judgment.
See, I am saying to the justices of the Supreme Court that they are huge jokers. They are joking. They are delaying the inevitable. They are joking. The earlier we face our realities, the better for us. Why did the Supreme Court not do anything for the 6 months? That's the indictment. Who held them down? Who held them down? That's why I say what they are doing now is just fancy cosmetic. In fact, they are not discharged at the bar of their conscience, because majority of us thought going to come out that it is mere academic exercise, that the situation has been overtaken. So it is mere academic exercise. The justice of the Supreme Court think that they are dealing with fools. They think that they are smart. They are clever by half. And this thing they are doing is going to cut off with them. Thank God for somebody like Trump, that God has. If not for somebody like Trump, you saw when the congressional men came to Nigeria.
Yes, sir.
The Nigerians were playing the game that they are going to listen to them, they are going to corner them, either give them money or promise them oil well and all whatnot. These are men. These are men who are not seeking for bribes.
But some people they talk in the US too, feel not just mean the best for us. After all, they know if you can't do nothing for nothing. They fit do and finish now. At the end of the day, now our natural resources and all that, now they interested in. So I mean, if they want act, they don't act without all this shalaya and explanation what they make. They don't take action since if Donald Trump did. After all, they say we get a record. Sorry, sir. They say our president get record for FBI according to them. CIB. They won't work. Why do not we start with that one? Begin release a record if Donald Trump really won't work.
No.
If not, be politics.
No.
Play. I waiting people they talk.
No. This is where law works. Law has a process. You can't just wake up and do things arbitrarily because of the way you feel. Law works and you follow it systematically. You realize that currently now Nigeria is building alliance with other countries, sharing ideas and try to build alliance. Those who are strategic, they build alliance from the beginning so that they are not standing alone. Do you understand it? They build alliance. That's what is going on now. Ultimately, whether you like it or not, you know that Adeboye of Redeem, that the president is deceiving Nigerians through the wife, who is my wife is a pastor my foot. He can't deceive somebody like me.
Hey.
So sure, I'm very sorry. I'm a believer. If not that I met Christ personally, at my age of 12, I would have thrown away my Bible. Do you know that they were using Bible to support slavery in the United Kingdom until men like Wilberforce, God raised them, and they came out of the British Parliament to say that slavery is evil? You don't know. Religion can be used as an instrument of preparing the people for exploitation. That is what is happening in Nigeria. I have told the men of God in Nigeria that God is not happy with Nigeria. And the truth is coming out. Are you a fan of Apostle Barnabas of Assembly International? You know him? You don't know him? Oh, you don't know him? Okay, I will send you his
AI now. They say that Pastor Apostle AI.
Whether it is AI, even AI, do you understand? AI is taking over the world. Whether it's AI or real, listen to him. He's making real sense, and that is supposed to be the direction of Christianity. I've had the privilege of going to Israel. You go to Israel, they go and pray on the Wailing Wall with their AK-47 on their neck, on their waist, ready for action 24 hours. And we are praying to the God of Israel. Anybody who deceives you that God is going to come down from heaven to do the things that they are giving us enablement to do in Nigeria, God is not going to fix Nigeria. God is not going to fix insecurity in Nigeria. Forget about all the nonsense that men of God are doing, deceiving people. See, the best way you can deal with your children, be honest to them. God knows that you are a human being. You can't get it 100%. The day you fail, your children will sympathize with you because they know that you are honest.
All right, sir. So make we quickly look at some insecurity issues and conversations we don't happen all this while, because as we talk to you like this, insecurity still they persist, it still they happen, it never stop. And this is not part of waiting they worry a lot of people. As a matter of fact, it be like say this thing don't even spread more to other areas. Some of the headlines what I get, I could just read them. They say 9 people for 9 they don't wound for Nasarawa over farmer header clash. So at least 9 people were injured on Monday, yesterday, after violence broke out between farmers and herders in local community in Nasarawa State. According to reports by Azagas Zulamakama, the clash happened around noon in December 15 yesterday in Bakono village within the local area. The trouble reportedly started after a disagreement over alleged damage to a farm. In the area, alleged damage to a farm. Sources said the farmland involved belonged to a man identified as Bako Usman. The disagreement later escalated into a confrontation between the two groups. The sources confirmed that 5 farmers and 4 herders sustained injuries during the clash. Security personnel, of course, don't go take charge, but that will not be all, because we get more insecurity issues where also don't happen. I mean, as close to us as Osun State here, we also hear say something like that don't also happen for Osun State. First, we could go to Kwara State. We don't suffer this incident over and over again, because we hear say terrorists don't strike again for inside Kwara, as gunmen kill 2 residents for Ife, not the local government area. They go enter community, they go shoot sporadically, they go kill people. Again, for another issue, for inside Osun State, our backyard here, we hear say gunmen on Monday yesterday night attack a community for Ora Igbomina, for Ora Igbomina, Ife, your local government area of Osun State, kidnapping a former Nigerian customs officer and killing 1 person. In fact, speaking to News Agency of Nigeria, I think Inuri of Ora Igbomina community say the gunmen stormed the town at about 7 p.m. and headed straight to the residence of the former customs officer. And that's what they begin shoot, kill people. So, see, it's driving home. Again, another one that happened for Kogi State, where it be say travelers then if you travel. Again, terrorists also abduct 7 construction workers, including 2 ministry officials for Kwara State. Kogi State to travel now across Kogi na problem because people when they travel there and so did they brutalize them, they harm them. Now that kind of thing they see. In fact, bandits kidnapped 2 travelers on Egbe Road for inside Kogi, shoot another person again. But meanwhile, for inside Southeast, there another case where they hear say naval officers, that is military officers, brutalize Anglican priests, hit in private parts with stick, damage them with for inside a checkpoint for Anambra State. You know, say most parts of the Southeast, they waiting and they come militarize and get a lot of checkpoints. So why people they talk say in all of these other areas where these bandits they almost get free hand to do what they do. We'll not carry military push all those places. Why it be in a Southeast where it be say they hold down like that with a lot of military? But that one another conversation. The issue of Osun State and Kwara State is very worrisome because it's gradually coasting to the south, and that might cause for worry. Waiting an ideal government supposed to the presidents don't give charge to Oga NSC, make him employ forest guards, make them full forest and all that. But it doesn't look like it's even quelling the issue because it is spread further to the south. Make a take a reaction, sir.
Listen, if you want to pay attention to it, you can pay attention to what I'm telling you.
Okay, sir.
What is going on? Nigeria are being gaslighted by this present terrorist supporting government or APC. We are being gaslighted. Yes, get that right from me. Is it not Nigeria that went to Benin Republic to stop coup?
Yes, so we carry flights where they shoot, where they airstrike, flights where they do airstrike, where they shoot from up. Now the kind of aeroplane will carry go.
Anybody who tells you that the banditry, the insecurity in Nigeria is not being sponsored by the official arm of banditry. There's an official side of the banditry and there's an unofficial side of the banditry. To start with, majority of these bandits are foreigners. They are not Nigerians. Outside God in heaven, take this from me. The most strongest body that exists in the world is government. Do you hear me?
Yes, I do. Clearly.
Outside God in heaven, the strongest body that exists next to God is government. So, if the government, let's say Port Harcourt today, government want to sack the whole of Port Harcourt, Nigeria has the military strength to wipe out Port Harcourt.
I mean, it happened for
you
see what happened for
it can. I said the whole of Port Harcourt. I'm talking about River State and push us into the Atlantic Ocean. It's possible. So it's a game that the present government is playing. Okay.
Trump, are you saying that government don't want to then get the power?
They don't want to do it. They don't want to do it.
People say the issue around this insecurity, they complicated. Say that they carry a lot of civilians.
In what sense? In what sense? In what sense? Who are they fooling?
They say they complicated.
They should continue to fool themselves. There is an Islamic agenda. Do you know why they did not release Mazin Nandekano? I'm going to say something that will shock you tonight. If you have an idea about strategic thinking, I said it to people some time ago. Number one, I began to listen to Mazin Nandekano when he said that he was praying on the Wailing Wall in Jerusalem when he had the call, do you understand, for the liberation of his people. When combined security forces of Air Force, Navy, and Army went to his country home to kill him after he was on bail by Binta Anyaku court to return in October of that year. I've forgotten the very year. After the killing, inclusive of the dog in that compound, all the people that died, where the Mazin Nandekano resurfaced mysteriously in Israel and no other place. If nothing rings on your mind, if you use a joke, don't play with it. There are signals that people don't play with. It is on Mazin Nandekano that will mention one day to us what happened and how he reappeared in Israel. Nobody. Do you know why they don't want to release him? It's like holding Elijah who know the secret of the enemies of Israel. Okay, not releasing him. Has that solved the problem? No. The reason why they held Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he has an insight. He sees ahead of them, even their strategic Islamic agenda and plans. He exposes them. If you doubt me, go and listen to his broadcast, his past broadcasts, word for word. Everything he said are coming to pass. That is the fear of the government. They can't handle it. How? They can't handle it. They can't explain it. I told people, the day Mazi Nnamdi Kanu back down from his position, he will die natural death. But as far as he's standing on it, nobody can kill him. You may not understand what I'm talking about. It may sound mysterious, but they are realities. So why are they militarizing the East? There is an anger in the mind of the entire, there's what I call the political calculus of Nigeria. Based on the political calculus of Nigeria, the civil war of 1967 is still continuing till now, till this night. All the destruction that is going on in Lagos against a particular ethnic group is continuation of that civil war. But the more you try to push down these people unjustly, the more they rise. There's a mystery behind it. Have you checked the number of the Fulanis that have led this country? Do you know how much money they have stolen? Have they escaped being the capital of poverty in Nigeria? There's a mystery behind it. You can't explain it. If you have your brother who belongs to security forces, ask them how much they realize from extorting motorists on the highway on daily basis, but you cannot profit them. It's a mystery. There are mysteries about life. Like when I talk about Professor David Gooch to you, that I talk about 5 truths. He said there is a plaintiff's truth, there is a defendant's truth, there is witness's truth, there is the judge's truth, and there is another truth that is only known to God. A judge can predetermine a case and even put in the judgment what somebody did not say to make sure that he has judgment at the end of the day. Have you heard that Omotosho, that when they traced and went to the prison authorities, that Omotosho, they said that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is sent to Sokoto prison based on the order of the judge?
Yes.
Have you heard that?
They even appealed it now. They appeal them, then Omotosho declined. They just declined the appeal.
That is the country we are living. This one I'm mentioning to you. Lawyers understand it. Because a judge does not have right to determine where they will send up. He said they should cut him off from the internet because of emotion. They should put him in a solitary confinement. He went above. That's why I say he's a Sharia apostle. No, that is not common law. That is not common law jurisprudence. What they are doing is Islamic this thing that respect only Sharia and nothing more. I don't belong to that. So what is going on in Nigeria is a game. I have warned people, particularly Christians, don't be deceived by Tinubu, who tells you that the white is redeemed. You know that Adeboye said that Tinubu is his in-law, and said that he should beg Trump. He should beg Trump for 100 days. That he should use the 90 days to wipe out the terrorists and their sponsors. I have asked Adeboye if his in-law has brought out the names of the terrorist sponsors that was sent by UAE. Has he brought them out? Have they proceeded against them? How many of the terrorists have been brought down? We are joking in this country. Thank God for Trump. If not, my sister, forget it. What is happening in Nigeria? They have captured the judiciary, and they are using the judiciary. For those who do not understand, they are using the judiciary as a smoke screen to enforce Sharia against all Nigerians. So the pronouncement that is coming from the so-called judiciary is Islamic jurisprudence, Sharia jurisprudence. That's what is going on. Have you know how what is credited to Abacha? That when insurgency lasts more than 24 hours, you should know that the hand of the government is involved. You can't, there are certain truths that you cannot despair. You can't push aside. You may not be comfortable with the truth, but there's something you can do against it. This is where we are. I said this some time ago. There was a time I've even been shut down on air, in the radio station. I said it based on strategic thinking. That two things that brought this government into office: alliance with terrorists and alliance with imperialists. The hope of APC for 2027 is anchored on alliance with terrorists. They are, you know, under Buhari, Adesina told Nigerians that it is better for them to forfeit their ancestral land to the terrorists rather than being killed. I mean, federal government, federal minister. And Tinubu did not promise Nigerians anything. He said he was going to continue from where Buhari stopped. Go and fact check if there was any promise Tinubu made to Nigeria. In discrediting Peter Obi, he asked, now statistic we go job. So it's a prepared something. And what Wike did in Rivers State, I told people they didn't believe it. He saw Rivers State. All that Wike is doing here, he cannot be questioned because he sold Rivers State. That's why Islamists can come here and shout Allahu Akbar and get away, and nobody can get them down. In South, here. They want to dip the Quran in the Atlantic Ocean. Where are those people who are shouting, it cannot happen here? It cannot happen here. I've thrown a challenge. Where are they? They have gone into hiding. They don't understand the Islamic agenda. There is a sinister plan to Islamize Nigeria. And people are just living in total ignorance. People like Wike are used as instruments. He has unhindered access to money. And he thinks that is, you know, that the son who studied in London said he's not going to practice law. London is the heart of rule of law.
He was just called
the son cannot. Yes, he cannot study law. In fact, I feel that he's under mental torment. Having studied law in England, know what rule of law is, and coming to see what the father is doing, it will give him mental torture. So the best thing to save his head is to avoid practice. So I don't blame the young man, because it's a contradiction. Look at the father, he's a light bencher. These are the people that the future of the legal profession is in their hands. Then the future is doomed. That's where we are. So issue of insecurity, it is an issue of official terrorists interfacing with informal terrorists. So it's an exchange of money. As they, you know, the Irome, I think Irome 15 or Irome 16, those who were killing Irome, they said that they were coming from Port Harcourt hunting field under Ibas. They come here, they kidnap.
I said the people that were killed in Urumi.
Yes. They were coming from Port Harcourt for hunting. They are hunters that were coming from Port Harcourt. Have you heard about the national hunting expedition in this country? That is what the terrorists are doing. And they are making money. So they were going home. When the government went to pay 6 billion, not for health care of people of Edo, they didn't carry any investigation. There is an agenda, an Islamic agenda. Those who have been sleeping, they should go back and listen to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu videos. His broadcasts. They are waking up. A lot of them are waking up to their senses. I told people some time ago, I said, look, there is something symbolic about the Wailing War globally. That this young man, to make that pronouncement, I am taking him serious. That people should pay attention. Those who don't understand, dismiss me. But today they have come to the realization that, yes, what Marky said was right. This is the way it goes. It's not magic. It's nothing mystic. No. It's based on pure calculation. And I can tell you, it's like somebody gives you a jerry can and cock it, and then ask you to submerge it in a liquid or in the water. The jerry can do you harm if you are not careful. want to push it on inside, it can throw you out. That's the way it is. So let it continue. It will end up in revolution in Nigeria. Mark what I'm telling you. How many of the bandits that are coming in from outside? Nigeria has what it takes. You know the problem with the military? The problem with the military is that the military operates on order. You saw what happened between Yerima and Wike at Abuja. The Yerima and Wike issue.
Yes.
Yerima told Wike, yes, he told Wike that I'm under instruction.
He's the naval officer, he has integrity.
Yes.
That
means
a lot.
That he's under instruction. And until they are given order, they don't do anything. Even if they arrest bandits and there's a superior order that says release them, they will release them. Even if they are going to be killed. That is the danger that we are in Nigeria. Until we have somebody like, if Tinubu can order military men to Benin to save the president before coming to the parliament to seek for formalization of his wrong, so to say, if he desire, we know what he will do. First of all, he will mention all the sponsors, even though they are in this cabinet, they will be taken down. They will be taken down. Once that happens, and they now proceed against the terrorists, how many of them? You know, we have a strategic gift in Nigeria. That is population and youthful population. They can wipe out the terrorists throughout Nigeria in 1 month. I can tell you that. Have you sat down to think under Buhari, reintegrating terrorists into the security forces? Have you thought about it? And it is the political class that are behind this. And that's why if any prominent politician dies today, just watch at the body language of Nigeria. These are Nigerians are saying more, Lord, we want more. When things get to that, something is wrong. In my place, if there is sacrifice and vulture refuses to show up, you know that something is wrong in the spiritual realm. I don't know about your place, but that's the reality. That is where we are. Life is no longer secure. Life is no longer sacred. It is cow that is sacred in Nigeria because of some idiotic minds under terrorists who are thinking. Have you not heard what Egypt did to Muslim Brotherhood? Have you not heard what's happening in America?
Yes, some
that's what they want to come and impose. That's what they want to impose in Nigeria. It will not work. We don't belong together. So let's go our separate ways. If there are areas we can cooperate, we can cooperate. Because these people, see, let me tell you, go and check your history. There is nowhere in the world that Islamic Islamic extremists and democracy ever work together. They don't exist. Islamic extremism, honest, respect Sharia. It has no respect for rule of law. So, it has no respect for constitutionalism.
So you think saying that the reason
and
we make,
what you saw,
think saying that the reason we make the US, they consistently they talk, say we must commit Sharia, we must abort Sharia law, and one of the things we must do.
We have to do it. There is no alternative because there are things that don't mix globally. We're talking about global standard. There are things that don't mix.
Yeah, but the Sharia law, the Sharia law in some parts of the UK, and it not interfere with their own laws.
That is where people are using their brain to do what is right, not what is happening in Nigeria. I told you that in the UK, it is the best hand that defends the poor. Did I not tell you that? The QCs. There is a constitutional provision that will take care of their fund well armed. That's where law. That for me, I want where law and order exist. Where rule of law exists. Not what is happening here. That you see all manner of charlatans. People who cannot pronounce their name, they cannot write their names. There are people driving brand new cars here. You come around here, you see people first degree, second degree, third degree, interact with them, you realize that you are dealing with cocoa. Because they are empty. All they know is APC, PDP. And now a live venture is pursuing a state capture where you have one party state. After all, they did it for what is his name? Abacha. So how did it end? Now they are newcomers.
Okay. All right. So because
something will certainly happen here.
All right. So time don't go. A lot of people won't get into the call very quickly. I don't know whether you hear the drama where they go on with Aliko Dangote and the chairman of the NMDPRA Farouk Ahmed, where he accuse and say 4 of his children, 4. I mean, you just be chairman of the Nigerian downstream, Nigerian midstream downstream and all that. So how you get $5 million to you send your children to secondary school for Switzerland? Secondary school alone. So you don't carry and go ICPC. You don't petition them to ICPC. ICPC rather, make it be say them to them question them. Now a lot of people they talk say why the EFCC never take up the case, and then normally people will take up office like this, suppose submit their waiting consign their money they wouldn't get to the Code of Conduct Bureau, and we know what's in the Code of Conduct Bureau don't use officers like what's they do to Oga Onoye and all that. They don't use government officials do. So why he be say the Code of Conduct Bureau after this thing? We never hear say they don't ask for Oga Ahmed Lawal, say come Farouk Lawal, say come first make we see your waiting you tell us versus your expenses, how you take be. So how you see this case with Dangote and Farouk Lawal going? Do you think that perhaps this administration may be willing to also pursue the investigation of that case to a logical conclusion and perhaps prosecute?
Permit me to use the language of the Gen Z. Sister, nothing comes. You didn't hear me. I said you should permit me to use the language of the Gen Z. They'll tell you, big sister, nothing comes. Nothing will come out of it.
Are you serious?
Nothing will come out of it. I've told you, that's the best way I can describe Nigeria. Nigeria is a criminal theater of absurdities, extraordinary, every day in action. When one happens, you think that you have seen it all. Just relax. Relax. Just take your cup of tea, sip. Relax well, because the one that will come may knock you off. You know, I did a short video recently, and I was warning people that they should take their health very serious. In Nigeria here, the rate at which people are dying
sudden death
is something, sudden death. We just on Saturday, a judge that sat even till Friday or so was to give a judgment on Monday. He died Saturday night in Port Harcourt here. Monday, out of, I would say, anger and solidarity, the chief judge declared that no court will sit on Monday in commemoration or in solidarity with that sad incident. People should take care of their health status. If you are living in Nigeria, I'm a solicitor and advocate as well as notary public of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. But in the light of current realities, I now resort to prayer for everyone living in Nigeria. May Nigeria, as presently constituted, never happen to you.
Amen.
It's as sad as that.
Amen.
You notice that our sister who became a victim made such prayer not too long before.
Yes,
she died. She jumped up. So that is how dirty the whole thing is. They just bring this smoke screen. See, let me tell you, I've said it a long time ago. I did my research work on the legal framework for environmental management in Nigeria, the petroleum industry in focus. The global headquarters of fraud is the petroleum industry in Nigeria. I've said that and I insist. The global headquarters. See, if you know the volume of wealth that is in this country, that our winners are wasting. I don't want to use certain words on air, but I have said it. For Nigeria to look up, there are individuals that must go down.
Hell.
By any means, sure. Because in fact, I've said it in some quarters that the level of wickedness by our ruiners, even devil Judah, and ask them, you mean you can do this to your citizens? And they tell the devil, you are learning work. It's as bad as that. The wealth in this country can produce more than 70% wealthy people. I mean super wealthy people. But criminal gangs. Do you know that Zamfara state own its own gold reserve? They mine it personally. Most of these banditry in the north, they mine their solid mineral resources privately without account. It is only oil and gas that belong to the minority that made it a national. They made it a national goods. It's what they use as benchmark of budget. They should not worry. The day of judgment is coming for this country, because the wickedness that is going on in this country is only God. They just recycle within themselves. They know what they are doing. Even though they want to set up modern refinery in the geopolitical zone, Nigeria has, you know how much people are buying for a kg of gas? It's only almost 2,000 naira.
It even got to 2,500.
But there is enough gas in this country.
Now that you mentioned gas reserve, let me quickly just jump in. Enugu State now, then state they don't get poor power supply. Why? Because of gas. And then for across the country generally, now there is, there is limited supply of electricity, reduced supply of electricity. Why? Because all the discos, they say they don't get gas, no gas. I mean, the Gencos say no gas. So people kind of wonder, say, when we get excess gas reserve, we get too much gas. Why if we say what we get in abundance, maybe suffer our people for light? And some of this gas, we actually use generate electricity by our own selves.
Sure. We have what it takes to have uninterrupted power supply in this country.
Yes, what's in they happen? Something will get in abundance, so they will won't build pipeline. We go carry and link the gas to Europe. After Putin stop the threatening them of gas supply. So why something we have so much in excess that we're linking a pipe to carry past Europe to go give people for abroad. Now we not use at least give light, supply electricity to our people.
You know, Buhari. He used that to borrow money. Part of the money for the Islamic agenda that he's pursuing. He used that to borrow money. Leave this country. Leave this country. Like Solomon said, the more you know, the more angry you become. But one thing I know is that a day of judgment is coming for them. Either naturally or unnatural. A day of judgment. Because God is not happy with what is happening in Nigeria. I can say that to anybody who cares to listen. God is not happy. What is happening in Nigeria is better imagined than explained. When you talk about whether economy or whatever, what happened? Nigeria has the manpower. Nigeria has the resources. We have the crude oil to refine them locally. But they are taking the crude out to their refineries, their own refineries. The naked greed that is surrounding the head of our ruiners. Don't worry.
So that day of judgment in the past 5 months, say they don't import billions of liters of fuel, even as they produce enough for us. And he gets crude oil not only from Nigeria. I mean, not be saying Nigeria is supplying crude only, but they get from US too. So why we will get people they say that because of monopoly? Because why would we say we will get a refinery where we produce more than our own consumption, our daily consumption, and then yet we steal the imports? We don't spend trillions of naira or dollars importing fuel since all this while.
Until you saw what happened in Benin Republic, is fear of the unknown. But I am telling the government of Nigeria, you see this wickedness people are doing to your underprivileged citizen. God has a way of taking the wicked in their craftiness. And the way it will happen, they will be shocked. It will happen, something will happen in this country to check the wickedness of our leaders. It was Delegiwa who said it. That no evil done by man to man can go unpunished. If not now, then certainly later. If not by man, then certainly by God. Because the victory of evil over good can only be temporary. That's what I've got to tell our leaders. They know what, even Dangote have been part of the problem. Because the brand of Dangote monopoly does not exist in any part of the world. I call him an economic monster. Dangote Group is an economic monster. No country of the world that has humanity can tolerate the brand of monopoly that is running here. Why can't we set up modular refineries and refine this product? Instead, there is a standing army that are killing these youth who are into parallel refining instead of collaborating with them. Leave it to, I don't want to go into certain things that will make you angry.
If to say it will be the thing, say to say the oil they for north, they for let's.
If the oil was in the north, forget about this thing. Nigeria would have been divided long time ago. I'm telling you, long time ago. There are people who are behind. You see, there's an imperialist angle to this thing that is going on. You saw what happened in Europe when my professional colleague, the owner of Airpeace, ventured into the international line by dropping the price of flying to London.
Yes.
You saw how British Airways, Lufthansa, and the rest, jitter. Nigeria is a country in the world that once it gets its leadership right, Europe will shake. I mean, practical shaking. Because Nigeria has the manpower, human capacity to turn the world around. Most of them will come home. That's why these criminals, our ruiners, are parading, walking up and down with, collaborating with, Tinubu is collaborating with France to make sure that he suppress the Sahel. But he should not worry. He should not worry. The more you dig the grave for somebody, that is the more you will sink. There are natural things you cannot fight in life. They should not worry. All the billions they are amassing, what are they using them for? What are they using them for? Don't leave it.
All right.
Somehow,
okay.
How it will happen, I don't know. But I can tell you, change is booting inevitably, and it will happen in this country. In my lifetime, I will be alive. I will call you one day and I will tell you, you remember what I told you? And you say, yeah, that's it. It will happen.
Amen. That is what I want. And that's why I keep talking. Nigerians phone lines are open. Let's on the phone lines. I know that most of us, I get plenty of questions to ask Ogamanki. Oh, yeah. Time don't reach. Phone lines are open. 0817-029-4077. Now the WhatsApp number to call to take part for the conversation. If you want to talk to Ogamanki direct and you have questions, or better still, he gave the link created by the pinned post for inside the comment section. The post is already pinned, so kindly ensure that you pin the post and then get back to us. Check the pin post, follow that link created by the pin post, and it will bring you straight into the studio to join us for inside the conversation. So you will feel be part of the conversation. Or you call the WhatsApp number 0817-029-4077. Now, a few things we I want to talk about while are the calls are coming. Abaribe talk something. Senator Abaribe, who they represent, a constituency for inside Abia State. He accused President Tinubu of incompetence in running the government, stressing that the former Peter Obi, the former Labour Party's presidential candidate, will do better than Tinubu. Abaribe disclosed that Tinubu's administration had become what he referred to as KBAC government. So this one can remind me how we'll be here on your mandate you shall stand for when I get judges conference. It shows that make it call on KBAC government. Well, moving on. He disclosed he talked this on for Inside Channels Television when he say he did respond to call to question for Inside Channel walking by my issue. Make I take this call. I will play you some excerpt of that conversation. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Hello, Precious. This is Omoye.
Hi, Omoye. Good to see you. Good to have you join us. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh my God.
Barrister Manki, don't bust your brain, Abby. You don't bust your brain.
I just called to thank him. He has refreshed me. Because we keep talking. We're one of those who keep talking. I went to Washington for the protests to, shine more light on what's going on in Nigeria with, the group of people that were there. So this just, Barrister Frankie just, when you get thirsty, you're in the desert, you're so thirsty because of the sun, and he just handed me water. I'm telling you, I feel so refreshed. His words have lifted me up. As he's speaking the truth, at the end, when he said, I will see I will see that in Nigeria in my lifetime.
Amen.
My goodness, tears, literal tears dropped from my eyes. So I just want to thank him for those words. It did something in me that I didn't expect. So I really want to thank, because we keep talking and we're fighting and we're looking forward to that, because we have things we want to do back home. Even as we're here, we're doing the best we can. But it's not enough until you're there by yourself. So I just want to thank him for being as truthful as he has been. This is the third time I'm experiencing him on your channel, and I really want to thank. There's no other. If there were any other words apart from thank you, I would use that. But thank you so much for Precious for bringing him on, and thank him also. And I hope to see him again and again and again. Thank you. That's all I came to say.
Thank you so much, Omoye. Thank you so much. All right, sir. So I did ask a question around waiting EBC Abaribe talk. He talk a few other things. Make a look what I could just play a few examples of what's in it. So just take a listen.
And the masses outside are even more ready. If you do an election today, you know what it's going to cost. How would you deal with this? That is the problem.
APC controls a quarter of the states in this country. What is left for the for parties other than the APC is less than a third of the states of the Federation. And Ane, you are so experienced politically speaking that you know that structure wins election a lot of the times.
I come from Aba. And I was discussing this particular thing of saying, APC has this government, that government. And people were a little worried. And I asked one of them a question. In fact, that question was asked by Governor Peter Obi. He asked someone, so this Abaribe here, will he go to area market and tell them to vote for Tinubu? He can't try it. Most of all these people who are telling you that they are following President Tinubu cannot go to their homes and say it. They can't. Why? Because they're going to be stoned when they go to say such a thing. People are suffering. The suffering is monumental. We've never had this before. And not just the suffering, the whole economy is collapsed. The security is, you have not solved it. And where would you now get that vote from? Where?
Senator.
Yes.
In all of this, there are those who will say the reasons why people are suffering, and in this government they've defended it, and they've said, look, this government is making tough decisions, and they've said it that there will be tough decisions because we've graduated from years of structural decay, and the decadence is what this government under Bola Tinubu wants to correct, and the Nigerians are wiser to see that, yes, the pain is there, but the gains are nearing. And perhaps we are gradually moving to the gain period. Do you think that kind of narrative also, and the realities on the ground, will be a game changer?
So, I ask a very simple question. What is a difficult decision? That hard decision that you're making, that you impose on a citizen who is already on the ground, you don't impose it on him. But I tell you, this giant has feet of clay. Yes.
What is
this giant of APC? He has feet of clay.
So
in fact,
at the election,
he has legs.
So at the election, you are going to target the clay feet, even with the bronze and the silver body.
If you get the feet, everything collapses. That's what will happen.
Does it look like because they say Tinubu has never lost an election?
Is that so?
That is what, historically speaking.
I do not think so. Everybody loses election.
Could 2027 be a first for Tinubu?
Yes, and you will see
that Tinubu can lose 2027.
He will lose 2027.
What gives you that confidence?
Because I know what Nigerians are feeling outside. Tinubu never won the election of 2023, and everybody knows it. Those who want to bet, we said fine. He has been declared winner. No problem. We acknowledge him as president. No problem. But we're going to meet him in the field. And I will see how he's going to cobble together that thing that will make him win again. It won't work. Because this time, everybody will be ready. It will no longer be an announcement at 3 a.m. Before people will wake up in the morning, they will tell you, oh, yeah, that will not work anymore. This time, people are ready, and we are ready. And the masses outside are even more ready. If you do an election today, you know what it's going to cost. How would you deal with this? That is the problem.
APC controls a quarter.
But I tell you, in all the states, these giant defections, what is going on there? So a governor defects, he had opposition, APC members who were there, who fought against him, who worked for President Tinubu. Then all of a sudden, the same governor defects, you hand over the party to him. What now happens to all those people? So there's a lot of my friends who are out there who fought for Tinubu, who don't know where they are today. With the defection of the governors, with the defection of all the people. Of course, all the people who are defecting, they've told us that they were promised automatic tickets. So if I was...
Don't you want an automatic ticket?
Me? I don't want automatic ticket. I've never had automatic ticket. I've always fought for a ticket. In all the parties I have done election in.
You have also defected. You've moved from
PDP. Defection. I never defected. I
exited
once it was impossible to stay within the confines of that party.
Do you regret leaving?
All right, sir. So you don't hear some of the excerpts of that interview. There are things he said that's really troubling, that the president never won the 2023 election and he will never win in 2027, even though say all the governors there, almost all the governors, I mean, one-third, governor states that don't go enter APC right now. And of course, they're all drumming support for him. But before you respond to that, I beg, help me interpret what's Ogami by KBAC government.
Yeah, I in my own way, I have my own word I would use, but I think what is the, you know, this obeisance that people do, this unquestionable this in they do to elders in Yoruba land. He's looking at it from that distance.
They talk this one because for National Assembly, the president go, everybody go stand up, sing on your mandate. Judiciary conference, single. They sing on your mandate. It isn't what making call this KBAC government.
Yeah, everybody, you know, listen to somebody like Wiki when he's talking. And I said it's an embodiment of shame. It's a shame to the legal profession, locally and globally. And it's very unfortunate what is happening here. Abaribe is one person that I have respect for, and he has said it all. And I don't see the whole thing that is going on rests on the table of the judiciary in Nigeria. It's the Supreme Court that has brought us to where we are. This crisis we are in is on the corridor of those justices of the Supreme Court that impose evil on us. Those justices of the Supreme Court that look at the law in the face and turn it upside down and said that Abuja is not a special territory as provided by the Constitution. There are a lot of things that the Supreme Court has done, and that's why I said, look, when revolution will start in Nigeria, like one skit writer will say, the body will surplus. Majority of the dead body will be lower. Because if you get into certain quarters, you will know that that with lower. Because globally, God placed us in that position. Even Jesus recognized the role of lawyer. He told lawyers in his time that I know you hold the key to knowledge. But because they took advantage of the law and turned the law into instruments of oppression, suppression, and repression instead of justice, he said, woe to you, lawyer. Not that they hated lawyers, that they pronounced that woe on lawyers because of failure of expectation. You understand it? So that's exactly where we are. Everybody should know that Tinubu did not win the last election. He did not make any pronouncement as to what he was going to do for Nigeria. He said he's going to continue from where Buhari stopped. What did Buhari do to Nigeria? I participate in that. See, let me tell you, people will die in Nigeria. If nothing happened till 2027, I don't even anticipate that we're going to wait in 2027 is too far. Something drastic will certainly happen that will roll in the revolution. And a lot of persons that will die is through the social media. What they have said. You saw how Onopasa died. Who were defending, it's very emotional. Who were defending Tinubu, and then when things stormed, when it became unbearable, came on air to say that they knew how they brought him into office, that he would also go down. And suddenly he could not, bear it. The man collapsed at the time.
All right, sir. Let's quickly take this call. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Yeah, good evening, precious.
Sir?
My name is Benjamin Uzoma. Actually, I was expecting Francis on your show today. Prince Chilaka happens to be my childhood classmate.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Please let him know that his classmate Uzo called in.
All right.
To hear from him today.
All right, okay.
Please, I want to thank you. More especially, I'm calling from Maryland, UK.
Okay.
You are doing a great job. I do appreciate you. In fact, I putting up with your show because of the stress here. It's not always possible, but I'll just go back to review your videos. Thank you for being one of those people that speak on our behalf.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. And that man on your show.
His name is Barrister Mankey. His name is Barrister Mankey.
Tell him that I say that God will bless him.
Yes, sir.
No, for standing with truth, for speaking it the way it is with the problem we have in Nigeria that not many people see it. People try to play around it, but he hit the nail on the head. I thank him. Also, Abaribe, how I wish we could get at least 2 or 3 Abaribes later. He said something about the election,
yes.
And not everybody, or not most people said the same thing. He said that in the nominal election, that is so obvious, but not many people are ready to speak up. I think I'm always speed. So, I thank Abaribe. I'm always appreciate Abaribe. Please, keep up the good work. I thank you. And whatever I can do from here to support you.
You can do something. I don't want personal support, but my birthday is 1st of January, and I want to reach out to people in IDP camp. See, it makes me cry. It makes me cry to see that there are kids who have been in IDP camp all their lives. They were born there, they've grown up there till they're over 10 years old in IDP camp. So if I can move one family and rent them a house around their locality, just somewhere around their state headquarters, and start up a business for that family so that their children can just enjoy something that looks like a home. It would make me happy. So, and I need your support to do this. Please. I go send you account. In fact, as you dey talk now, make I send you account number so that I no go forget them, because I don't forget. Please, I need all the help I can, because it breaks my heart and it will give me a lot of joy to see that happen. So please, that means a lot to me. Wow, okay. I know. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so immensely. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you so very much. Thank you, sir. All right. Bye. You too. Thank you, sir. Bye. All right. Barrister Monkey. So another thing I want to ask you, we don't ask you this Abaribe own, and we don't talk with you talk about Abaribe own. And then if there other things we don't happen for Nigeria, all this are women you never see. With waiting happen with Trump and the big brother will go play for. But another question. Now our aeroplane and 11 people, they hold them. I say make I just that one quick. They say the thing they go repair for Portugal. The thing can't get technical faults, mechanical faults. Then they say make them land quick for Portugal. In fact, at the time when some people from Nigeria they don't give 24 hours notice to Burkina Faso. If I not release those people now and that flight to go do on something, 24 hours don't pass, 48 hours pass. You don't know why they never still release. But some other sources come they carry and say that flight will be actually ordinary flight. First of all, they say the flight come up from Nigeria with no clear destination where they go. Then the first place where they say for Benin Republic. After Benin Republic, it can't like say it disappear for reader until it can't reach Burkina Faso. That now we see some people talk based on say they say plenty for the talk. So before it can't reach Burkina Faso, while other people they claim say Burkina Faso government, according to them, say they talk say the plane not be ordinary cargo plane or military cargo plane. Say it actually carry geo mapping system where they send information about Burkina Faso military operations to in real time to the nearest French base where they can go also. So now part of waiting make Burkina Faso die, say they need a release. They hold them there. But they play with us, so they don't also be sovereign states. A whole Nigeria and with their big brother, ordinary Burkina Faso as a small like this. Now you hold our place. They can report them to
you. I'm not very good at singing. One of the radio show I went last week, I begged the anchor man to permit me to sing a song. In those days, the days of pro-democracy, action in Nigeria, when deceivers like Tinubu, they claimed that they were pro-democracy, but we are coming to know their true colors now. There's this song that...
Are you saying your president is not pro-democratic?
No, it's not. Now, there is the greatest fraudster that is living. Is the greatest fraudster that is living. Let me tell you. When the children who are listening to me, they should pay attention to what I'm going to say now. This is a man, when he was the governor of Lagos State, he claimed, listen carefully, that he attended Chicago University and Ibadan High School. Gani Farouk fought this president till he died. That what he was saying was fraud. Now that he turned to become president, it appears he lost his memory. He now came up to say that he did not attend Ibadan High School, that he attended Lagos High School and Chicago State University, no longer Chicago University. Now people dig into that and they find out that the certificate that he deposited at Chicago State University, with which he gained admission, bear a date of 4 clear years before the real Lagos State High School came into existence. What fraud can be that? And yet the Supreme Court validated such a bunch of fraud. One of the most beautiful Latin maxims that I love most says, Nemo da quod non habet, which by interpretation means a man cannot legitimately be expected to give that which he does not have. It's as simple as that. So to me, what we are seeing is as what we saw. Thank God that people like Peter Obi have come to realize, and they said that in 2027, those who don't want our vote to count will be counted. That shows that he has acknowledged that he was in error thinking that the judiciary that we have in Nigeria was what it was then when it was going on Anambra State. The one we have now has been captured and taken over and turned into something else. Now, yeah, that's where we are. And it's as unfortunate as that. That is the reality that we are, that is confronting us.
So now that one
I will
go put our aeroplane anyhow. Our military
now
plane.
I want to sing that song, so allow me to sing the song. It's a kind of signing, it's a signature tune song.
You gonna need backup. You gonna need backup.
No,
you know, some university Sim don't release one for Tinubu.
No, leave that.
Okay.
Leave that one. The song says, if you do good, you do for yourself. If you do bad, you do for yourself. Oh, Koni man die, oh, Koni man bury him. Koni man die, Koni man bury him. Once you hear that song, you will hear the voice of Professor Adeyeye. God bless everyone. And then Radio Kutida will now come on air. So the game that Nigeria is playing, we soon get to it. You see, when you live on propaganda, you will die by propaganda. See, Precious, can you trust Nigeria?
Sir?
Can you trust? If Nigeria were a medical lab and it brings out a report about you, would you believe? Just be honest.
No, sir. Sir, don't make me respond. Don't take my no for it. No. Don't make me respond. I take back the no. Don't make me respond.
I was expecting that you are going to say that. No, sir. I'm a person of integrity.
I have integrity.
You remember 11? You remember 11?
Yes.
You remember 11?
Yes.
Yes, so every lie has an expiry date. I think I will end on that note.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Hello, good evening, Precious.
Hi, evening, Daniel. Welcome. Go ahead, please. Let's hear you.
Yeah. I want to talk about this issue about three different things. The first one in which I would love to talk about is about this issue of the 11 soldiers and Burkina Faso.
Yes.
One, the whole thing is that all these things are game plan of the West. Why I'm saying this is that the whole thing, all those missions in which the Nigerian soldiers were doing that day, was in regards to help France to make sure that, okay, they fulfill what France want them to do. But mind you me, Burkina Faso initially wanted to release these persons until both America and Russia now pick interest in this thing. And France happened to be part of it. Why I'm saying this is this. France have been using Nigeria just like, maybe let me say like a puppet for them presently. It started even during Buhari's time, in which France went and commissioned some of the dredge in which they did in Lake Chad for drilling of oil. Then they plan to connect the real gas. As I'm telling you now, they are drilling oil from Lake Chad. I was even with some of the engineers, and he showed me some of the picture, the extent in which they have gone. And I know some persons that have tankers that are enjoying this thing from there. That's aside. Why I'm saying this, right from Genesis, the issue of Mazum Nnamdi Kanu, it started as a result of the statement in which Buhari made to the Prince of United Arab Emirates before the G7 meeting in 2017. That's what even triggered this whole thing, that even Buhari himself started having issue with all these Yashekau and the rest. That's just the truth. US really wants France empire to collapse, and they are behind that too. So they are playing everybody. US is even part of this whole thing. They are playing everybody. Even the issue between Mazin and Kanu started having issue with even Buhari was as a result of that. Buhari not being able to meet up with some of Shekau need was as a result of all this thing. Shekau planning to go on press release to announce what is going on between Boko Haram and the government and everything led even to the death of Atahiru after he did his own investigation and probe of Protai. A lot of things happened. Why I'm saying this is that Nigeria has to be very careful not to, because America and Russia, they are looking for a way in which they'll test their next world war. They don't want it to be even in Ukraine again. They are thinking either to take it to the Japan region between China and all those regions, or within the Sahel. And we have to be very careful. Let them not use us.
Thank you.
Then what
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. If you wanted to say something else, just go ahead, please.
What I want to talk about the issue of the military in Nigeria now. Because I've always been telling you that the killing of Uba, General Uba, is not a pleasant something, and the way the government handle it, they are not happy. Now, 11 good military technicians and some other experts are already in the hands of Burkina Faso.
And we never hear much from government.
The promotion of the ADC of the president.
Yes, to Brigadier General. No, the president don't stop him. As the thing raised a lot of, cry. The president don't
That's
withdraw.
what I'm telling you. He has to be careful to allow all this tension in the country and in the atmosphere to calm down. Nigeria is already stressed. The president, even Akpabio, that some people are praying online that Akpabio should do this thing. Sometimes the dog or the devil it's better to still be there for this moment. I will not lie to you.
All right.
So let's be careful and allow the will of God to be done. Let's
Thank you.
just pray for the will of God. Nothing should happen to Akpabio.
Make we leave prayer first
I know
of all.
it's
First, no, make we leave prayer, my dear brother. Make we do the right thing. Make we take the right decision. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Barrister Mankey, now this one when you don't talk now, don't remind me of one revelation. Not vex, I will soon release you, sir. One revelation where I don't know whether I don't hear of the name Major General Danjuma Ali Kefi. The man don't they speak very loudly recently. He saying be the lead on OSW operation with President Buhari tell and make it go lead. And say, now that from that operation, Nine Kong recovered the names of people where they sponsor terrorism from Nigeria. In fact, from that operation, he discovered that Abubakar Shekau is not even the real leader of Boko Haram. It's someone else who is from Niger Republic. Nine be the real leader of it. So Abubakar Shekau is just like the poster boy for Boko Haram. And in can talk about how it be people away from Buhari administration get joined body with some of these people then where they sponsor, where the people where they catch as sponsors of terrorism. And guess what? By the time he started releasing so many names and evidences, guess what happened? They called him, locked him up, and forced him to resign from military. Just like that, for person where they doing work, he no know the offense where he commit. So he accused the government of having a hand, especially the administration of Buhari, of having a hand in terrorism. Because why didn't go sack him like that? That's not one. And then two, he also say the kind of this illegal mining, the way they happen now, where they links to the banditry and all that, say some of the people that for Buhari administration can hand for the illegal mining them too. He said a lot of things. But the worst part of this is that he said that he also wrote a letter immediately Tinubu took over office to tell Tinubu of the torture way he go through and the things that happen and the discovery way he make during that operation when they lead. And the injustice where they met at on them. Till now, say President Tinubu never answered and never do anything. Make I take your opinion. What was the president supposed to do with this kind of reveal in a system where you say you did sincere about the fight of insecurity against insecurity.
If you pay attention to what I said previously, you is ably captured in the position of T.Y. Danjuma when he said that any Nigerian hoping on the Nigerian security agents for protection will all die one by one. It's as bad as that. I have said it here that any Nigerian, look, part of my qualification, I'm a mental shift coach. Anybody, I try as much as possible to reject people's mentality, what I call mental reset, particularly within the church circle. Because religion has done incalculable harm to a lot of minds that they abdicate their responsibility given to them by God back to God. That's an insult. You buy a bicycle or something that will enable the child to pick up in terms of walking fast, and the child throws it away. That's exactly what we're doing here. I said it earlier that the Christians are praying to the God of Israel, but Israel is defending itself. How can we expect God to do that which he has given us what it takes to do? Anybody hoping that God is coming to save Nigeria is wasting time. We have to take up our position. I told you that Tinubu did not promise anything to Nigerians. He said it's going to continue from where we stopped. So anybody expecting something else, you see, the best way to live life is expect the best, prepare for the worst. That's all. Set your mind on that. So this is for those who are expecting something from Tinubu. I have warned Christians who are deceived. You will always hear him say, you also have Wike saying that his wife is a Christian. Tinubu's wife is a Christian, saying all sort of jabs. You can deceive those you want to deceive, not people like me. I met Christ personally at my age of 12. I'm not a victim of religion. So that president will come up that my wife is a senior pastor in Redeem. I didn't stop her from going to church. All those things are deceit. It's religious witchcraft. Tinubu, by body language, is behind the terrorism and the insecurity in this country. When the US shall release the list, you will see what will happen. I have asked Adeboye.
You talk just now, sir.
What has his in-law? What has his in-law? Why has he not released the list that UAE released to Nigeria about the sponsors of terrorism?
But the list was handed over to Buhari, not him.
What are you talking? Is government not a continuation? What are you? It's assets and liability. If you marry a good woman that is very eloquent, beautiful, and she has anger issue at home, will you say when she misbehaves in the compound that she's no longer your wife? No, it's assets and liability. The pipeline with which Buhari collected loan that is going to deliver gas to the West, is it not what he's fighting on? It's part of the reason why I want to release Mazin Kanu. So that they will complete to deliver the gas. Meanwhile, Nigerians are buying gas at exorbitant price. When I say what I want to say, you will tell me that I'm going too far. There are people that must go down in this country for things to look up.
Okay, sir. Sorry, Ida, complete that thing, sir. Make you not forget them. Ida waiting, sir. No vex.
Either by human pattern or divine pattern, something must happen. And I'm very, very hopeful. I'm an incurable believer in the fact that Nigeria has great potential. I will be alive to see it. It will happen.
All right.
So all the shenanigans they are doing, it's a matter of time. they will certainly hit the rock. Even speed train has stopped.
All right, sir.
So they should continue.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Good evening and welcome, please.
Yeah, Precious, good evening.
Good evening.
I don't want to call because, but I called because of the last caller.
Ew.
These are the people that kept us where we are today. I don't know how careful he wants Nigerians and their leaders to be. You know, Peter Obi said that Nigeria needs a leader with compassion and empathy. The leaders we have now, I don't know where they came from. I don't know. I can't even say where these guys came from. They are stealing what they don't need. Precious, I live in Germany. I'm living in the US now. No matter how corrupt they are, they still have empathy for their own people. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter where you are. Precious,
sir?
I came to Germany in 2010. What I've achieved in Germany, in 8 years, I've never achieved it before. My 32 years in Nigeria. Your guest asked you one question. Can you trust Nigeria?
Sir?
And you did answer that question. Nobody can trust Nigeria as an entity. Nobody. Precious, we came to Germany, we lied, we took asylum, and they still welcome us, paid us, pay my house, pay give me money to eat. Still welcome me. When I said the truth and got the papers, they still welcome me because they have empathy. In Germany, you go to churches. This is what they call what's the name of this organization in churches. They will give us money. They don't look at our color. They don't ask us what we came here to do. That's the people that want the good for everybody that are coming to their country. I don't know how careful we want to be again. Our leaders are wicked. They are from pit of hell. These leaders we have now. And like your guest said, Tinubu never promised anything. And your guest said something here. He said you can only ally with imperialists or terrorists to behaving the way Nigerian leaders are behaving. How are we going to be careful again so that our America and Russia will not use our land for proxy war? Have they used Burkina Faso that are trying to survive, get their own feet at proxy war? Have they used it? Why not tell your leaders to have sympathy on people? People are dying every day. People don't find food to eat, and they are driving. Look at the Wike the other day showing off his Rolls Royce, a government servant, public servant. When you come to all these foreign countries, that man that called now, if you want to see your local government chairman or a governor of your state or mayor of your state, you only need to write letter that you want to see him. They will put you on waiting list. They will give you time to come and talk to him and express yourself. Did they ask you where you came from? Did they ask you who you are? Did they ask you your qualification? You go and see them. Talk to them normal. It's only in Nigeria before you can see a local government chairman, you will be somebody. It's only in Nigeria before you see a president, you will be somebody. Even the convoy, you will not even cross when the convoy is coming. So I don't know how careful are we going to be. We're calling America and Russia. Is America that okay? Let me say America. Let me say those people you are calling, we are blaming every time. They are stealing our resources. Yes. But the little they gave us, they gave us. Why can't these people share it? Look at somebody paid $5 million for secondary school children. $5 million. How can you say that to people that have blood flows in their body? So they will look at you somehow. How careful are we going to be again? how Nigeria is now, and the leaders are enjoying, calling party. The other day, I saw Wike, they are dancing, they are drinking, that every time you see them singing. Because if you're not happy, you can never compose a song. If you don't have a settled mind, you can never compose a song. Every day they are composing songs, singing for themselves, and people are suffering, clapping for them. And people are saying, America is coming to steal us. We should be careful. And what Mazin everything Mazin Nandikaru said, I don't know where he got his information, but all he said, is it not what you are seeing today?
All right, sir. All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Let me let you finish so I can release Ogamanki. Thank you so much, sir. All right, Ogamanki, sir, if you can, in just one sentence, a few words, your parting shot so that I can release you. It's already, past, almost approaching midnight, so that I can let you go. Thank you so much, sir.
Oh, okay. What I want to say to every Nigerian, irrespective of your location on the global map, is to keep, I say to you, by the audacity of hope, that you should never think of sinking to this evil that is sweeping across Nigeria. Hope is on the way. How it's going to happen? I don't know. But you should play your role. I told somebody some time ago, part of those who are afraid of my life, I said, I will be uncomfortable in my grave that my children will stand by my graveside. I said, Daddy, you are gone. What did you say about this? It will be on record that I said something against evil. I will never take side with evil. You see this evil that is moving as if it's going to consume everybody. I think it was Chinua Achebe who said it. That until the lion had their own historian, the story of the hunt will always favor the hunters. There are times that the lion conspire and they kill the hunter. But you won't hear such story because the lion never had their own hunter. The story about these oppressors, these our ruiners in Nigeria, will be told. Think about the portion of that history that you will occupy. Let your children remember that this is the role that they play, this is the role that mommy played. I know there are lots of Nigerians abroad. They are tired of staying abroad. They want to come home, they want to make things happen. But these our ruiners are not ready. But I can assure them one thing. This change that is coming. In fact, if somebody told another that Nigeria will be shaken by the tweet of Trump, they will not believe it. But it's happening already. The whole world is exposed to the evil that they are doing to fellow Nigerians. And I'm praying that God will help that their evil will be brought to check in the shortest time. Enough is enough. Like Charlie Boy will say, our mumu never do. I think it's time off for this, our ruiners.
It's supposed the mumu supposed don't do. Nigerians, I know you love to hear from Barrister Mankey from time to time. Please ensure you follow him like your village people. He's on Facebook at Mankey Tenan Adubabari. Please ensure you go follow him like on a village people. Because from time to time, he drop lyrics like this on top of Facebook. So follow him for Mankey Tenan Adubabari for on top of Facebook. I'd like to say a big thank you to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
People they protest, they make it they come at least once in a month. Say they don't like to miss it. They don't like to miss it for too long like this. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
We will see for backyard later and wishing you the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you, sir. All right, Nigerians, I'd like to say a big thank you to all of you. Well, if you did for US, you never chop, so you make a make sure you go carry one so you chillax, especially this festive season. Put on for your agenda, say you could buy suya for your family. And Mr. Kange Black would do that for you. And then for everyone who likes to support me, I've seen your support. A couple of people, I'd like to say a big thank you to you from the alerts I'm seeing here. Mr. Macaulay Ulusho, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I see what you sent. I do deeply, deeply appreciate it. See why Danjuma, you fulfilled your promise. Thank you so much. And I said, I think one more person sent something. I don't know his name. Okwala Juochi. Okpala Georgie, thank you so much. So these are the stuffs I've received so far, and as I receive more, I'll also let you guys know. I like to appreciate everyone. You honor too much. Honor too much. Thank you for your unalloyed support. If you'd like to support this cause, where and embarking in by the 1st of January, please just send whatever you can, your widow's mite, to Fidelity Bank 56101 57936. That's the account number 56101 57936, Fidelity Bank. And this account was opened specifically for this cause. And I don't tell them that before, say I go print out statement of account to show every transaction we come in and as it take go out concerning this transaction. So I am sure to do that. I'd like to say a big thank you to all of you. Thank you to all those who are still willing to put us in your budget to contribute on a mini lot to me. Thank you so much. And at the meantime, make a tell on a goodbye. But tomorrow we are likely to have gotten a nod from Alaji Dahiru, and I'm hoping that he joins us tomorrow. He's assured us that barring all last minutes, any emergency, he should be here tomorrow. So we hope that he'll be with us tomorrow. That is Majid Dahiru will be with us tomorrow on the show, and it promises to be another very interesting session with him. You know that he's a firebrand. It promises to be an interesting session with him. But at the meantime, I'm not gonna forget to protect our mental health, because wahala need to finish. So he who worries about Nigeria problem should live to worry another day. So if you worry small, run away and live to worry another day. I love you guys so dearly. Protect your mental health. Good night and God bless you. Thank you. Bye-bye.